Hey gang, Jane here, and today I have another easy crochet granny square tutorial. Today we're going to make a simple and modern geometric style square I call the Summerside square. You may recognize this one as I did make it in a hexagon tutorial, but I originally created this one as a square shape so I could have a simple but colorful geometric style design to use in a crocheted sweater. The sweater itself will be in a future tutorial. You may notice if you follow my tutorials, I absolutely love circles and rings. So I have lots of different squares with these elements in them, all a little different, but they really are my favorite pieces to create projects with. This square has 4 very simple circular rounds before we square it off on the 5th round. From there, I add 3 rounds of a single crochet chain 1 border. You can add as many or as few of these rounds as you like to make the square a size that suits your project. Let's take a look at what we'll be using in this tutorial. So our square today, we're only going to use 3 colors. And I normally do a lot of my squares in worsted weight yarns, but today I'm going to use a DK weight yarn. I do like those as well, especially when you head into the summertime. They're a lot lighter and softer to wear. So the yarn I'm going to be using today is a DK weight, and it's this Mellow Spun DK by Mary Maxim. I find it has a beautiful twist to it, and it's still a really nice soft yarn to work with. So I'm going to be using it in 3 colors. I have Nutmeg here, Spruce, and Buff. And I'm also going to be using a 4.5 millimeter hook. I like to go up a little bit because I like things softer, so it does suggest a 4 millimeter, but I'm going to use a 4.5 millimeter. You're also going to need a pair of scissors and a darning needle to work in the ends. So I have 8 rounds on this square in particular. The first 5 are going to take you to this squared section. And then the last 3 are these borders. So you can do as few or as many of these borders as you want, and that will change the size of the square. My finished sample square measures 5 inches. I also love this square because I do the embroidery on it. So I add this embroidery on after I finish the square. I have a tutorial for that, and I will drop that link in the description below. Here I've just done a back stitch around this first round, and then another back stitch here around the 3rd round. It just gives it that extra little detail that really makes the square pop. You can find more information on the pattern for the Summerside Granny Square over on my blog. I'll leave the link in the description below. So gather your supplies and your favorite yarn in your favorite colors, and let's get creating today's square. So we're going to start our square with a magic ring and this beautiful nutmeg color. I'm going to lie the cut end over my palm with my palm face up. I'm going to hold it with my thumb right at my first finger, and then I'm going to wrap the yarn over my first 2 fingers, bringing it back underneath, using my thumb again to hold it in place, crossing it over, and now wrapping it over 3 fingers. So I have my first strand and my second strand. I'm going to go under the first strand with my hook, over the second strand, hooking it and pulling it through, and then inserting the hook and twisting it so that the loop is twisted on the hook. So it's on there. I'm going to go to the longer strand going over my 3rd finger, hook that, pull it through the loop. That's considered my first chain, and that is the magic ring with a chain 1 to hold it in place. And we are now ready to work round 1 into this big loop right here. And we're going to use the same color, nutmeg. So round 1 is going to be half double crochets. So we're going to start with a chain 2. The chain 2 represents a half double crochet. So we need 1 more chain because we already have 1. And there's our chain 2. Now we want to work 12 total half double crochets. We need 11 more. So we want to work 11 more half double crochets into this loop. The half double crochet is yarn over, insert into the loop, yarn over, pull up. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. So now you have 2 half double crochets because your chain 2 represents a half double crochet. So we're going to go ahead until we have 12. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost there, and see how we're filling up this loop. If for any reason that you feel this end is disappearing, I still have a nice long end here, and that's what you want. Just place your thumb and your finger at the base of the last stitch that you just worked and give it a little pull. And it will slightly pull in that loop, but it will give you a little more end to work with. You don't have to pull it all the way in yet because we still need to work more stitches. So let's go back. Where am I here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need 3 more. So that's 10, 11, and 12. So I have 12 half double crochet in my loop. I place again my thumb and finger on the base of the last stitch, let go of the working yarn, just leave it to the back, pick up the cut end and give it a pull. Just gently. It may take a few little rearranging it because you don't want to knot anything and you don't want to break anything. So you just want to gently pull it in and see how it's really cinching up that center. You don't have to pull it in super tight because you'll get another chance to pull that in just before you darn this end right here. Make sure you have the right end. So we have our magic ring pulled in and we're ready to join our round. I'm going to join this round with an invisible join. So the way I do that is I take my yarn and I cut it about 3 to 4 inches, probably a little more there, at the back, drop my yarn, and then pull this yarn through that last loop. And see, we haven't joined it yet. We're going to do that now. So we take our darning needle and we're going to put it on our yarn, or I guess you're actually putting the yarn on the needle. And now I'm going to work what I call an invisible join stitch. What you're going to do is take your needle and see we have the chain 2 right there. You're going to go under the next stitch. You're going to go past the chain 2 and put your needle under both loops of the next stitch and pull your yarn through. Just gently, not too tight, because you want this stitch to look just like all the others. Then you're going to take your needle and come back to where it just came out of, where the yarn came out of that last stitch, and you're going to go into that and pull your yarn through. And what we've done is we've created right here another stitch that looks just like all the rest over top of your chain 2. So if you were to count your stitches, you will still have 12 stitches. You don't want to create an extra stitch, but you'll still have 12 stitches there. So now I'll just leave that to the back and we'll darn that in later and we're ready for round 2. So round number 2, we're going to move on to our spruce color and we're going to join in any one of these stitches. And I like to move a little further away from where we finished off so I don't have all my ends in one place. So we're going to go ahead into the next 1 or 2 stitches over and pull up a loop, leaving a nice end that we can darn in later. I do like to work my ends in as I go. I do have videos on how I do that. I really have a hard time now crocheting without working my ends in. And I love that when I'm finished the square, I'm pretty much finished the square. I don't have all those ends anymore. Definitely go check out those tutorials on how to work your ends in as you go. I'll leave a link in the description below. So we have a loop pulled up ready for round number 2. Round number 2 is also going to be half double crochets. So I'm going to chain 2 to start. And then I want to work another half double crochet into that same space that we just joined in. So wrap your yarn around, insert it into the same space, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn around or yarn over, and pull it through all 3. There you have 2 half double crochets because the chain 2 represents one of them into the same space, and that's what we're going to do all the way around. So the next stitch, we're going to work 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2, and then again in the next stitch, 1 and 2. So you're getting the idea here. It's 2 half double crochets in each stitch all the way around. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back here. You will have 24 half double crochets because there's 2 in each of the 12 stitches. And when you get back here with your 24th half double crochet, I will meet you here and we will finish the round together. And we're back at the end of our round. I have 24 half double crochets and now we want to join the round. And again, I'm going to do another invisible join. So we cut our yarn 3 to 4 inches at the back. Don't need that now. And we go ahead and we pull that loop through. And you can see we're still not joined here, but now we're going to do that. So take your darning needle and put your yarn onto your darning needle. You could do this with your hook. You could just reach in with your hook and do the same thing. I prefer to use a darning needle. It's just more exact. So we're going to take it and we're going to go where that chain 2 is. We're going to move 1 stitch over and go under both loops of that stitch. Pull your yarn through, and then you're going to go into the stitch that you just came out of, and you're going to go back into that one, pulling gently. You've created another stitch just like all the other stitches that you have here. So now you should have 24 stitches all the way around, and we're ready for round 3. So in round number 3, we're going to use our buff color. Join our yarn in any one of these stitches. So again, I move a little further over from where we just were. And I normally say pull up a loop. This round is going to be all single crochets. So I'm going to do my invisible single crochet join. You hold the yarn at the back with your finger against your fabric. You take the hook and wrap it around the yarn, or wrap the yarn around the hook, I guess, right? And then you're going to pick one of these stitches, and you're holding the yarn all the time with your finger and then your thumb at the front. And I'm going to pick one of these stitches, I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to go under the cut end of the yarn. The cut end of the yarn has to go over the hook to hold it in place. And then we wrap the working yarn around it and pull it through. 2 loops on the hook, always holding everything in place with this finger at the back. Complete our single crochet. And now we have a single crochet join without that extra little slip stitch loop there. So it's a lot cleaner. So we're going to do single crochets in every single stitch. So let's go ahead into the next stitch and do a single crochet. See, I automatically work over my yarn like that. Do that in every single stitch around. So yeah, 1 single crochet per stitch. You're going to have 24 single crochet all the way around. I'll meet you back here and we'll finish the round together. So here we are at the end of the round. We have 24 single crochet. Now you may find that it's curving up a little. You probably are finding that because we didn't do any increasing on this round, but that's okay because it's the increases that happen in the next round are going to smooth everything out. Because I'm going to continue with my buff color in the next round, I don't need to cut my yarn or do any kind of a special join. Slip stitch in this first single crochet. So pull your loop through and through the loop on the hook, and that sets us up ready to start the next round. So now we're ready for round number 4, continuing with our buff yarn so we didn't have to cut it. Round 4 is going to be half double crochets and chain 1s all the way around. So those chain 1s are really going to open our circle up. So we're going to start with a chain 3. The chain 3 represents our first half double crochet and our first chain space. Do a half double crochet in the next stitch. And then a chain 1. And that's what we're going to do all the way around. So again, a half double crochet and a chain 1. And then you move to the next stitch, half double crochet and a chain 1. You're going to do that all the way around in every single stitch. You're going to end up with 24 half double crochets and 24 chain 1s, and I will meet you back here and we'll finish this round together. So we're at the end of round number 4 and we're ready to join. We have 24 half double crochets and 24 chain 1 spaces. I am going to be cutting the yarn, but I am just going to do a slip stitch join this time because we are ending with a chain 1, and that's usually what I do, just a slip stitch join. So you want to count up the second chain of the beginning chain 3 would be where the top of your half double crochet would represent. So you want to go into that second chain and pull your yarn through both that and the loop on the hook. And then you want to cut your yarn about 3 to 4 inches to darn in later, and you've completed round number 4. So our next round will be our squaring round. So you can see here, we have finished the white part, the circular center part. And the next round we're going to be doing is this green, the spruce color, and we're going to be squaring off our circle. Up until now, the stitches have been pretty straightforward, just half double crochets, pretty much the same thing all the way around. Now we're getting into the squaring, so I'm going to work your entire round with you on this one. So this one's going to be a bit longer round, and we're only going to be working in the chain spaces. So insert your hook into one of those and pull up a loop and chain 3, and that's going to count as our first double crochet. So there's our first chain 3, also representing our first double crochet. So this is also going to be where our first corner is. Do another double crochet into that same space. Pull through 2 and pull through 2. So now we have what would be 2 double crochets in the same space. First part of the corner, and we're going to go ahead and work our edge. When we come back, we'll work the last half of this corner. The next stitch will be a half double crochet in the next chain space. So yarn around, insert into the next chain space, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's a half double crochet. At this point, it's just been straight stitches. Now we're going to chain 1. Next, we'll be working a single crochet into the next chain space. Do a single crochet, and then another chain 1, a single crochet into the next chain space, and a chain 1, and a single crochet into the next chain space, and then another chain 1. Now we're going to work a half double crochet into the next chain space, and we've reached the other corner. So let's just take a look here. This will be the top edge of our square, or any edge of the square. Now we're working into a corner. So the next chain space is going to have the entire corner worked into it. Double crochet, another double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 more double crochet into that same space. So let's take a look at what we've done. 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet into this same chain space, and that's our corner. Now we're going to move across the next edge. So we'll do a half double crochet in the next chain space. So moving straight from these 2 double crochets, do a half double crochet in the next chain space. Then we do a chain 1. Single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, and a single crochet in the next chain space, and a chain 1. So you can see you've done 3 single crochets here with chain 1s in between them. Moving towards the next corner, we're going to do a half double crochet in the next chain space. And now we're going to do our next corner. So again, in the next chain space, work 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 more double crochet, just like the first 2. And we worked another corner, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. And we've worked up our next edge. So here we are turning our corner again, and we're going to work across our next edge, and then we have this edge. So I'll go ahead and do all that with you. If you're comfortable with that, you can go ahead and do it on your own, but let's work through this. So a half double crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and 1 more single crochet in the next chain space, and chain 1. Then we do a half double crochet. And we're back to our next corner. So in the next chain space, which is the one where I joined in, so I just hold that yarn to the back, we're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. And there you have your next corner. and half double crochet in the next chain space, working across our last edge, chain 1, and then we'll do these 3 single crochets with chain 1s in between. That's our second one, chain 1, and our third one, chain 1. We have 1 space left. That is for our half double crochet. And now we can complete the second half of that corner we started at the very beginning. So we already have the 2 double crochet there. So what we want to do is work into that same space, 2 double crochet, chain 2, and now we can join. We've done our entire squaring off of our square, and I want to join in the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 3. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, and pull it through the loop on the hook. Cut our yarn because we're going to change our color again. And let's take a look at this. So you can see now we've done the squaring off of the circle in the spruce color, and we have 4 corners to work with. And now we can go ahead and work our last couple borders. So let's pull this one in and see where we are now. See, we've done the green squaring off. Now on this one, I do 3 more rounds in each of the colors to give it a nice border. So let's do these 3 rounds and finish off our square. Our next round is going to be nutmeg. I love the name of this yarn, nutmeg. So we go to one of our corners, one of these chain 2 corners, and that's where I'm going to join the yarn. And I'm going to work a single crochet. So because I'm doing a single crochet, I'm going to do the invisible single crochet join. So holding my yarn against my fabric, wrap my yarn around first, then insert into the space underneath that cut end and complete my single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1. And we're going to be working single crochet chain 1 all the way across, just it's going to be in certain spots for this next round. So we need to set it up because what we have here is 3 stitches in a row without any chain stitches. So what I'm going to do is single crochet chain 1 here in the corner, then I'm going to skip the first double crochet and I'm going to work a single crochet into the next double crochet and then chain 1. Skip over the half double crochet and go right into the chain 1 space right there, right here. Work a single crochet. Now chain 1, and we're going to work a single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and single crochet in this last chain 1 space, chain 1, and to make it to the corner, skip over the half double crochet, work a single crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, skip over that last double crochet and work into the corner as a single crochet. So you can see we worked all the way across. So we've done single crochet chain 1s all the way across. We just had to work into some stitches at each side of the corners, but in the center you've got chain 1s to work into. Chain 2 to turn our corner and single crochet in that same chain 2 space we just worked into, and that turns our corner. Now we're ready to work across the next edge, so let's do that again. Chain 1, skip this double crochet and work into this double crochet, single crochet, chain 1, skip over the half double crochet and work into the chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1. Now we're back to some chain spaces that we're going to work into. So into the next chain space, single crochet, chain 1, the next chain space, single crochet, chain 1, and the next chain space, single crochet, chain 1. Now we have these 3 stitches before we hit the corner. Skip over the half double crochet and work into the double crochet. Chain 1, skip over that double crochet and work a single crochet in the corner. Taking a look at it again, you can see we've worked up 2 sides of our square to establish this chain 1 single crochet border. Now we have 2 more to work. If you're comfortable with the way the repeat is, go ahead on your own and you can skip to the next round, but I will work these next 2 edges with you. So we're ready to turn the corner. We need to chain 2 and single crochet in that same chain 2 space. And then off we are onto our next edge, chain 1, skip over this. Now here I've come across the chain stitch beginning. You skip over that chain stitch and work into the next double crochet, single crochet, chain 1. Working into the first chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1. And then the next chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. And then in our last chain 1 space of this edge, single crochet, chain 1. Now we want to work into this double crochet, so we're skipping over the half double crochet, work into the first double crochet here, single crochet, always single crochets and chain 1s. Chain 1, and we're going to skip over that last one, work into the corner, and the corner again is a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So we have 1 more edge and we'll be back where we started. Chain 1. Skip the first one, work into the next one. Single crochet, chain 1. Skip the next one, work into the chain space. That's a single crochet, chain 1. All single crochets, chain 1. That's what I'm working this entire round. Next chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1. Next chain 1 space, almost there, single crochet, chain 1. And we have 1 more chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1. And now we have to look after these last 3 stitches, so we skip over the half double crochet, work into the double crochet, single crochet, chain 1, and then this space right here is where we joined. We go into that, work a single crochet, a chain 2, and now we join our round. And I join by doing a slip stitch in this first single crochet. So go under both loops, pull up a loop and through the loop on the hook. We're going to cut our yarn because we'll be changing our color. Pull it through and we have our first border round. So at any point in time, you can finish off your square depending on what size you want the square to be and how many border rounds you want on it. So at this point, it looks nice. We could just use this, but I'm going to add 2 more rounds. I'll show you how I do that. Now I'm going to use this buff for the next round and I'm going to join in a corner. So this particular round will be the one that you can repeat as many times as you want. It's going to be exactly the same except that you'll be adding 1 more stitch each round. So we go to one of our corners, one of these chain 2 corners, and we're going to do a single crochet. So I want to do my invisible join. So I wrap the yarn first, then I put it into the corner, putting the cut end over top of the hook, and then pulling the loop underneath that cut end to hold it in place, and then finish my single crochet. Then I will chain 1, and I'm going to work in every single one of these chain spaces all the way across, working a single crochet and then a chain 1. And I do that in each space all the way across. So I've already got it established from the round before that I will be doing the same single crochet, chain 1, but I know exactly where I'm putting the stitches because I have the exact number of chain spaces that I need. So I love these rounds because you don't have to think too much about them. Here I am at the next corner and I do a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet. Now we start our next edge, chain 1, and work a single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, and we continue across like that till we get to our next corner. So I'll just work to this next corner and then I'll let you go do this on your own. So chain 1, we've reached the next corner and I want to do a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet, and that turns my corner. That's what you're going to do down this edge, into this corner, and across this edge. I'll meet you back here and we'll finish off this round together. We've gone all the way around our square and we're going to finish it off. We finished with single crochet, chain 1 in this last space. Now we're back to where we joined, the corner that we joined in. Insert your hook, pull up a loop and do a single crochet, and then chain 2. Slip stitch in this first single crochet to finish your round. Cut your yarn, pull it through, and there you are. You've completed another one of those border rounds. I'm going to do one more in the green and see how it just gives it a different look. This is the look I'm going for this time around. Do exactly what we just did for the last round. Join your green in any one of the corners, and then you go ahead and do single crochet, chain 1 in every one of these spaces. Do your corners, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and keep working around. When you come back to the beginning, you do that single crochet in the same space, chain 2, and then slip stitch join. And that's what you can do. You can do that for as many rounds as you want. Same colors, different colors. It's a great way to bring new colors and use up scraps. I'm going to do one more round of spruce, and that will complete my square. Now you have another square in your repertoire. You can change up the arrangement of the Summerside Square colors to give different looks to the square, using them in different combinations and for different numbers of rows. Here's a fun and quick project you can make with this square. This trivet uses 4 of the squares in the same colorway I just used in this tutorial. I join them together using my lacy join-as-you-go method. To finish off the edging, I work 2 additional rounds of single crochet chain 1 border, just like the 7th and 8th round of the square itself, and then I complete the look with a twisted single crochet edging. In this case, to give it a little bit extra oomph on the edge, I held 2 strands together and I went up a full size of needles, a 5.5 millimeter needle and 2 strands of the spruce. You can find the tutorials for these techniques on my YouTube channel. I'll leave the links to the videos in the description below. And if you're feeling adventurous and want a bigger project, you can try making a sweater with these squares. I'll be working on this tutorial and pattern, and I will drop the link in the description below as soon as I have it up and ready. My goal is to give you lots of square ideas and then show you some fun crochet techniques that you can use with just about any square. Throw in lots of color inspirations, and the combinations to create projects are endless. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel so you're sure to catch all my tutorials as they come out. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.